Hey Bryce, do you think we could go live for a sec? I just want to make sure my computer and my internet can handle doing a live collaboration.
What up?
Hey, sorry for the impromptu IG live, but I just wanted to test this out and make sure I am good to go. What's your scent of the day, Bryce?
I wore Motif Olfactif Vetuda earlier today.
Nice.
And right now I got like 4 things on. So
You testing or you
like everything.
the mix?
Just testing, kind of just was spraying stuff on, little samples and stuff.
Well, it doesn't look like it's too bad.
Am I lagging? I'm not lagging at myself.
No, we're doing it. Yeah.
We already know, you know.
Have you smelled raw materials?
No.
No?
No, I've never smelled any raw.
What about oud oil, like just by it?
I got like a little thing from Zoha. It's called like Hindi oud right here. It's called Royal Hind. I don't know if it's mixed with something, but it's oud.
Nice.
It smells like poop. It's really,
Smells bad.
it's really bad. It's really bad. It smells like poop.
Thanks so much for coming on and helping me out.
For sure. Later.
Oh, I know. Your Bryce is the best. You want IG Live Gold? You get that guy on, or Jay Holloway will. He's the best. Okay, I got a package from Oz. This is the Perfumer for Motif Olfactif. I got a special delivery from Oz, Mr. Oz. Hey, what's up?
Not much. You?
Good. Nothing's going on here. I as soon as I opened this up, I knew it was filled with amazingness. So I was like, I want to make sure that I'm really experiencing this right. And I noticed that there are a lot of things in here, and I wanted you to kind of walk me through it, and so I can really experience this. I have a very rudimentary knowledge of fragrance notes from doing aromatherapy, so nothing too intensive, like bergamot and all the things that would kind of smell nice, like lavender, eucalyptus, and that kind of thing. But when it comes to perfume, the raw materials are a little bit outside of my realm of comprehension. So I asked you a couple days ago, can you tell me about the oud that's in this new fragrance? And you said I could send you a couple of materials. I didn't know you would be sending me this many materials.
Yeah, that's fine, though. I'm always excited when other people are interested in knowing a little bit more about perfume, right? Beyond just buying something and then just smelling it. I would say, well, there might be a better way to try these, but I would say the only thing is not put it directly on your skin, especially with these being at 100%. When I receive materials, what I do is essentially use test strips, right? So I'll dip it in at 100%, but also dilute it because the scent profile that you get with the material at 100% might vary slightly when you dilute it in perfumer's alcohol. Right. Some of them are not recommended to smell at 100% because they're really potent. And then it can actually blunt you out anything for a while.
I am opening this package. There's tons of vials in here.
Look, I think when I went on my live with Glenn, that's what
whole perfumer's
I was talking about. Well, no, not really. So these are things that I've accumulated over time. When I order something from Eden Botanical, for example, you get access to like a free sample and things like that.
Look at this. Hold on a second. Before you say it, this is like, there's a lot of stuff here. Honestly, I'm blown away. I don't even know what to say.
So you said that you know, when we're talking, you said that you're pretty familiar with the cedar note, right? Okay, so I would say start with Atlas.
Okay, I'm going to write this down. Whew.
Because gradually, I want you to smell the gradual shift or impact or how sharp or not some of these are.
So I'm going to give this Atlas Cedar.
So in
I love I think essential oils. I love essential oils more than perfume. I'm not embarrassed to say that. I think that
maybe the purity around it, but it's interesting. So with this one, in terms of what you know cedar to be like, right?
Right.
And then in terms of woodiness, how from 1 to 5, where would you classify that?
Well, it's interesting because I have a hard time smelling wood in perfumes. It just feels like sort of a boundary, like you run up against. I can just kind of sense it. I don't really smell it as precisely.
Okay, maybe texture.
But this reminds me of cedar or just resin or the resin.
Okay.
It reminds me of burning resin.
Softer.
I have pine logs here that I kind of scrape the resin out of and kind of.
Yeah.
That smells like a very clean wood. I would say on the boldness scale, I don't know what the scale is that you're talking about.
So just maybe you don't have a relative comparison here.
Like how strong it is?
Yeah, like how woody, if you were to classify it as a type of wood, how woody do you think it is? And then we'll move on to the other. Okay, all right, so that's good. I think the same thing too. So I would write the name of I will write Atlas Cedar on that so that you can identify. Oh, you already did. Okay, perfect. So I would say the next one, go to Himalayan cedar.
So as far as the juice is concerned, the Atlas Cedar is a little lighter in color.
Yeah.
As the Himalayan.
Yeah.
Wow, I can really smell that one.
Okay. So that's my favorite cedar.
Woo! Woo! It's like herbal. It has a
slightly
herbal,
sweet.
Slightly sweet.
Yeah.
Herbal and almost a little bit like it has some sort of solvent kind of smell.
Okay, yeah.
Not like a turpentine, but I used to do tiny little oil paintings, and it kind of just reminds me of just some sort of linseed oil or.
Okay. Have you tried Australian sandalwood?
No.
No? Okay. I think I have that in there, so I'm curious when you smell that if you can see those two working together. But
Australian sandalwood.
Yeah. So
Ooh. That.
I feel like those two can work really well together.
That's like a kind of a regal kind of smell.
Yeah.
It reminds me of nuances of Bloodline. I don't know if there's.
You might have that in there, especially because he uses a lot of cedar stuff in there too, cedar-like elements in his fragrance. So, and then if you want to move to Virginian cedar, and then the last one, let's do Texas.
This is crazy. Okay, I think this is the cedar I know.
Okay, so Virginian cedar then?
This one, yeah, this...
Sharper?
The Virginia cedar is what I'm familiar with.
So how...
This reminds me of Chris Russick's Timber, a little bit.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that's what's in it, but has that
I think he uses, that, and then some citruses at the top too.
Yeah, it's got a clean airiness to it, but almost like a modern type
feel. Yeah. Do you get a lot of myrrh and the oud from timber?
No.
Huh. Okay.
This is predominantly what I smell in timber.
Timber. Okay.
I mean, it's just that like watery, like essence of like almost like water trickling down a bunch of tree stumps.
Yeah, I do enjoy that one too.
I love that.
So that's the one that you're familiar with. So you can see how the Atlas cedar is much softer. You might not even be able to recognize that in the fragrance if it is used as more low key. I don't use that much. But then now let's try the
Texas.
Yep.
All right. Texas cedar. Ooh.
Yeah. So
it's a bolder smell than the other one. A little more like the
do you get slightly smoky pencil shaving nuances?
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I was gonna say, but I didn't want to make sure. I didn't want to say.
There's no wrong answers here. You're just trying to have those are your frame of references, so or what you perceive. So
this reminds me of a little bit more of what's in I.O. of Chris Russick.
Okay.
There's
I sampled that one a while back, so I don't remember properly.
It's a little deeper, and I don't know, for color wise, it's more of a brown, like a darker in color, thicker kind of smell.
So between the four, which one do you prefer?
I don't have a preference. I like all of these. These are all amazing.
Okay. Hoot Sense is saying that he's getting yuzu and cedar from timber as well. I think I have it here.
Right. No, yeah, that's exactly.
Like on my skin, what I get out of that one, well, maybe you'll be able to recognize it in there. I sent you an oud that has an earthy, mineral-like facet attached to it. I get that in the dry down of timber.
Right.
I do enjoy that one a lot. So.
Let me spray the Atlas cedar one more time. All of these smell awesome and natural. Like super. I mean, it can't not smell natural.
The Atlas is my least favorite.
I have a hard time smelling Atlas cedar.
Now, yeah, I think because you've tried the other one, so it's kind of difficult.
I can't really say what my favorite is because I do love all these. The one that's most magical is the Himalayan. That one feels like it could be, there's like a glow around it. It's like some sort of fantasy smell to it. Like there's more. Yeah. It almost has like an incensey type quality, almost like a frankincense.
Okay.
Kind of smell, not frankincense, but kind of a material like a resin like that.
Yep. And then Hoot Sense said something about the oud type of smell is not your barnyard oud that is in Chris Rusak. It's actually clean. Right. This one is easy to wear. You can wear it pretty much in any setting, dressed up, dressed down. It's really modern and then really well streamlined. So.
And all of these have some sort of meditative quality to them. Like smelling these just by themselves, it puts your mind at ease. I don't know if that's something that you... Yeah,
some of the materials I find like that, they do have that type of calming. Like sandalwood is one of them for me, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, sandalwood's so different.
So is that what you expected when you were thinking about sandalwood or no? No?
Kind of.
Okay.
There's a perfume company called Pure Presence with this perfumer named Justin, and he has a deodorant that's a sandalwood deodorant, and it's very natural smelling. And always like I'm on the lookout for like a good deodorant that's natural and doesn't have like all the weird stuff in it. So this gives me a little bit of a smell to that. I know he uses some nice ingredients. So I had an inkling of this smelling like this, but this is also a different type of that smell.
Yeah, so depending on the region, you're going to have different variation on the sandalwood theme there. So this one is Australian. I think I sent you one from New Caledonia. So if you want to try that one and then compare and then see, but they smell slightly different too. And then try the Sandalore to see if it's what you mostly associate with sandalwood.
Okay, so I have, Caledonia. Let me try that one real quick.
Yeah.
In my mind, I think of Santal 33 and other sandalwood-based smells.
Yeah.
I don't know what Santal 33 actually has in it that I'm picking up as that woody, like, I think it's probably the eucalyptus and papyrus that I'm connecting with. I have a hard time smelling this.
So New Caledonia should be slightly spicy, but also have that creamy, woody tone attached to it.
I smell nothing.
Maybe your nose is already tired. Really?
I do have hard time smelling wood scents.
Okay.
I can't smell this.
Maybe you're done for the day.
No, I usually go for a long time. Like I can smell everything else. Like,
but the woody. Okay, so
it's like in a frequency that I can't pick up.
Okay, all the nuances then.
It's very like, if it were like a musical, like on a musical scale, this is like a very high pitched thing that might be out of my realm of hearing. It's bright. It's super bright and airy.
Okay. Yep. You're trying hard. This is fun. Yeah, some of the materials, for example, I can't smell. So some of the musk elements I can smell for like maybe a minute or two, and after that I can't smell anymore.
This smells like what clouds smell like.
Oh, really? Okay.
The top of a tree, the very tippy top.
It's like
of a
softer. Maybe you're expecting something that is strong, maybe, but it's not supposed to be that strong. So now try the Sandalore and see if it's what you associate mostly with sandalwood.
Okay. Sandalore. That just squirted all the way across the room. Okay. Sandalore. Yeah. That's a more familiar smell.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear that. So that's the smell you're familiar with? Okay.
That's what the deodorant smells like.
Okay. And then I sent you Indian sandalwood.
Indian.
So let's try that one. And so because this one is not a natural, so.
Ooh. These are way more subtle than I thought they were going to be. Or maybe it's just I'm not picking them up.
No, even in compositions when you're using it, it's not going to be something that is too loud. So this is going to be much softer than the others. Oh, gosh.
I can smell this. I can smell a tiny bit.
You're probably expecting something bolder or bigger. Yeah, so if you go back to the Sandalore, which one do you prefer? Do you think one smells more natural than the other?
I only can pick up one. Actually, the Australian sandalwood is the one that I can really smell that kind of reminds me of a cedar.
Yes. So, yeah, typically people would describe it as having the creamy, woody feel, but also the texture. but also the texture of some of the cedar notes.
The Sandalore I can smell like maybe at 30% volume, like in the woodiness scale, it's probably a 2 or maybe a 1. The Australian sandalwood is about a 6 or 7 because that's really pronounced and
sharp, yeah.
Yeah, but some of these, oh man, I wish I could smell them like more.
Yeah, so the way I study these materials, like typically I don't do many at a time. I would take 1 or 2 a day. If I'm not familiar with the material, I'll put it on paper, smell it in the first few minutes, write down my note on how they smell like. Then I come back an hour later and then see what the scent progression is until it fades away. And then I'll have a good idea of how long it lasts, what are the different smells at different stages and things like that. Because each of these will have, to a certain degree that is noticeable, a top, mid, and a base type of note or smell.
Interesting. That's interesting.
So maybe the Sandalore, for example, not be natural, that will remain linear in terms of smell, but in terms of intensity, maybe it will tone down. But some of the natural ingredients have something at the top that you're going to get, and in the base, something that is slightly different.
Do you think that if I can't smell it now, later on, maybe the heart notes or the base notes will be more pronounced?
Yes. So I'm guessing what is happening is like you're smelling some materials that have high impact, right? And then you're at the level where you're expecting something that is like loud. So when you start smelling things that are much lighter, it's difficult for you to kind of capture that. So I would say on some of the days, just pick 1 or 2 and then just smell that. And then you'll be fine.
Tomorrow I'm going to just go straight into sandalwood and just see if that, just to make sure that the fatigue isn't a part of it. But I can kind of smell the Sandalore a little bit more now. It reminds me of, like eccentric molecule kind of a version.
I think I added Javanol in there.
Yes, Javanol's right here.
But that, for example, is such a powerful note that you need to dilute it a lot to be able to use it. The problem with this one, I can't even smell that. I smell something that is faint, like really faint lactonic, but also with like subtle, like rose petal-like feel attached to it. But it's really hard for me to smell that. So I'm curious to know if you get more than that.
Javanol. Oh yeah.
That one I always have a hard time smelling it.
Oh, it's thick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can smell it.
You can, okay. Do you think is it softer? Faint?
Very soft.
Okay, that's very the same thing that I get too.
It's like almost like cotton fibery, where it's very nuanced. Like it's very subtle, but I get different things at different times. Like it almost has like a resiny, airy scent.
Do you get light?
What's that?
No, I'm wondering if you get something that is light that reminds you of something that is slightly rosy, like really faint.
Oh, yeah, prickly. The prickliness of like the smell of rose. The plant part.
Yeah.
Not the petals part.
Yeah, that's the same experience that I get, but after a while I can't smell anything. So
it's very faint. I feel like that experience is kind of what I smell with those ones that I just can't even perceive.
Yeah. So maybe isolating those and then just focusing on those.
Is Javanol a synthetic?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I did get a little bit of that rose. It was more of like a texture than a smell.
Yeah.
Of the rose. But so yeah, I think that sums up all of, and that is a sandalwood.
Like the set that I just wanted you to see if it was some of the materials that what you associate with the sandalwood smell or not. But it sounds like it's more so the sandalore that you associate with most of the sandalwood fragrances that you've tried then.
Right.
Okay.
I'm really curious about Immortelle. I haven't tried it.
Let's try that.
And Immortelle is a flower or a...
Mm-hmm. So, okay, I was waiting for a reaction there. What do you get? Like
it's almost like a
spice?
A spice. It's sweet, like almost like brown sugar.
Okay.
With a woody type nuance to it.
Curry-like?
Like syrupy, but like a nectar version of syrup.
Oh, Tristan's saying that, yeah, she loves this material. So is that what you pictured, though?
No.
No? Okay, so what was, when you heard about the ingredient, what was in your mind?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm just curious. It doesn't have to be right.
No, I'm trying to think, because there's a lot of fragrances that have Immortelle in it that I always think, I don't know what that is, but maybe that's why I just like this perfume.
Yeah.
But it's probably not, because I really like this.
Yeah.
It's almost like a gourmand kind of.
You find it gourmand. Some people, yeah, I can see that.
I want to eat this. Like I feel.
Oh, really? It does have that like spicy, heavy, sweet.
It's
really textured. That's the part that I like about it.
You can keep smelling it and kind of pick up on new things. It's very subtle. At the very beginning, it was a lot more prominent, but maybe I'm just nose blind.
No, I think this one is diluted. I believe this one is diluted. That's why if you smell it 100%, it's really pungent.
Hey, Peter. Oh, sorry, guys. I haven't been paying attention. Comfort and Sense. All of you guys, thank you for joining. There's a smell in here. When I first smell it, I know exactly what it is, and then it fades. Hold on, let me just see.
Looks like you really like that ingredient.
I really like Immortelle. I'm trying to put it into words. It's like a medicinal.
Okay.
Woody.
Yeah.
It almost smells like a. I don't know. It smells good.
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
I love this. What's up, Ben?
Okay, so
I really
what else did you want to try?
Jasmine.
Somebody's asking if it's a joint.
I want to... yeah, definitely. You want some of this stuff? All right. Jasmine.
Okay.
Immortelle. Oh, my gosh. I just wiped my nose, and there's oil all over my nose.
Oh, gosh. I hope it's not... What was that? Was that Immortelle?
It was everything, Oz.
Oh, gosh. You better go.
I made a perfume on the tip of my nose. I made an attar.
An attar. Oh, gosh, you're funny.
Okay, I'm going to try this jasmine. I might have to cut up myself another. If anybody wants a sample of my nose attar, I'm selling it for big bucks.
Well, jasmine, you're familiar with that, right?
I think so.
You think so? All right, let's try it. And then the other thing to keep in mind, some of the florals, especially when you get the absolute, is now going to smell as close as possible to the live plant or the smell of the live flower because of the way it is extracted.
Right.
So, but this one,
so
I think is that
jasmine.
what was that? Sorry.
I think jasmine is the one I have experienced most in different combinations. I feel like with aromatherapy, there's a lot of blends that use jasmine, and I know this. This is that's exactly what jasmine smells like. God, that's beautiful.
It is. Which one is this one though? Is it like a label with the
jasmine? From India.
Okay, India. Okay.
10%.
I'm wondering if.
This is only 10% oil.
Yeah.
That's it's not bad. It's strong.
But it is. Yeah.
Do you have 100% jasmine somewhere?
Yeah, I do use those. So depends on how you work as a perfumer. If you're trying to smell the ingredient as close as possible to what it will smell in the composition, typically you dilute it to a certain level and then you use that in your blend so you have a pretty good idea of what it's going to smell like. For me, most of the time, after I familiarize myself with what it smells like 100 and then diluted, I like to work at 100% if possible. Of course, some of the ingredients you can't do that because just one drop in your composition and then it's just going to mess everything up. So you have to dilute them before you use that. So
how do they make jasmine absolute? Is that the petals? Is it the whole plant? Is it just the plant part of it? Is it just the green part?
The flowers. Essentially, it's the flowers, but then in some of the extractions, they will use both the leaves and then the flowers too, depending on the distillation there.
So this is pretty much the petals?
Yeah, the flower, yeah. But it takes a lot to be able to make that though. So you have to keep that in mind.
That is so strong. That is
pretty strong.
That is amazing. We have 3 more, and I want to save the oud. I want to save the oud for last because I feel like it would be exciting for me.
Okay, you might have.
Or should I do it now?
Yeah, there's a reason why I sent you this one. So yeah, let's go through that, and then when you get to that, I'm curious to see what your perception of oud. I mean, you've tried a lot of fragrances with oud, right? I'm wondering what your.
I think I can count them on one hand of the amount of ouds that I dominant in oud, and I still don't know if I know what it smells like. So I have olibanum, and that's a resin, right?
Yeah. So it's gonna let's see if that's gonna remind you. Well, I'm sure it's gonna remind you of something, but I'm curious to see if. I'm curious what you think about that one.
I think I've smelled olibanum before.
Well, you might be familiar. What was the difference? You've already burnt them, right, on a heater? So did you notice a difference between those two or no? That was a good one, right?
I love that. Oh my gosh. That's so refreshing. It's a incense, a fresh incense. It's it's what's it called? What's it called? Like eucalyptus. What is it called when it's
Was it like you referring to camphorous or coniferous or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Has a camphorous quality. Has like almost a citrus nuance to the top of it.
Okay.
And all around, this is awesome.
Yeah, I do enjoy that ingredient.
It's like frankincense sport.
Sport. I love your descriptions. That's good.
Yeah, it's frankincense au fresh. Yeah, really expansive, like you're looking over a big landscape or something, and it's just fresh air.
It's like a diffusive, has a diffusive.
Yeah, and it opens up everything, and I think that's part of the can first quality, probably like. Looks like an out-of-body experience. Yeah, definitely an out-of-body experience. That was cool. So now I have patchouli and oud, and I'm fairly. I don't know if there's a lot of different patchoulis, but I have smelled. The funny thing about patchouli is this is the note when my wife and I were dating in college.
Yeah.
She used to wear Angel. And I did not. I mean, she got the original batch from a family member, and it was always not a turn off, but it always just made me go like that, you know?
Yeah.
It was always just sort of like, why are you wearing that? And then I realized it was that smell is tied to a toy that I had a long time ago from the He-Man universe. Do you remember that the He-Man?
What?
You know He-Man?
So you had that association? Oh wow, okay.
There was a character called Stinkor, and the whole thing was he stunk, and he looked like a skunk, and he had an orange vest. And I got the toy, and they sprayed him with the essence of patchouli or some sort of cheap patchouli to make it. I think it was a political statement or something. I don't know what it was, but.
Oh wow!
That was my connection. That was my connection to patchouli.
With that,
and I don't know if I've learned to like it, or I just like
maybe over time. So I'm curious to see if you're going to see a difference between the Indian patchouli and then the other patchouli that I got from Eden Botanical.
All right, I think I only have one patchouli here.
Oh, which one is it? The Indian one?
The Indian.
Okay, let's try that and see if it's
Okay, this is.
It's pungent. It's really pungent.
I wasn't expecting that. Okay, hold on.
What were you expecting?
Hold on. It's not bad. My gag reflex just went, but it's just because it was so potent.
Yeah, the opening.
Whew.
I don't think you've accustomed to that smell yet. You're accustomed to that smell. I don't think you like that.
The essence of it, like the second smell that you smell, not the first one.
Okay, the earthy nuances, woodiness.
Right. It's more earthy and soily than the sort of almost floral smelling ones that I've smelled before.
Yeah.
This is really cool. When people call patchouli earthy, I'm like, that doesn't smell earthy, but this is.
Yeah. So it depends on what you're using in your composition. I think when you there's another one called Clear Wood, I believe, where like the opening is not as pungent as what you're gonna get in this one, for example. So this is more earthy and more woody than the one you're used to. A little bit medicinal, slightly metallic. There's like the most subtle little mineral metallic
sharpness of mineral. Almost like a mineral spirit. I mean, I like patchouli now. I've learned to like all smells of it. I wasn't put off by this. It was just overwhelming, the intensity.
Yeah, I can see that. It's pretty pungent.
Okay.
So I think the last one then is
oud. I want to be ready for this. What's up, Bryce? Okay. All right, the next and final thing we're going to be smelling is oud. My first time experiencing a raw oud oil. Raw oud oil. My first time trying some raw oil.
Oh wow, what is that? What are you doing?
You ever seen a tester strip like this?
No, I might need one.
Don't even worry about that one. Okay. So I haven't sprayed this yet.
Okay.
Honestly, that last one, the patchouli,
probably messed you up, huh?
It messed me up a little bit.
Yeah, I bet. It's pretty.
It turned my stomach a little bit.
I wouldn't doubt that. It is pretty potent.
All right, here we go. The last one. Ooh.
All right, that's
on the biggest tester strip you've ever seen.
Exactly.
So this is Vietnamese oud at 5%.
Yeah.
Okay.
So depending on the region and then how it is distilled, it will smell differently. So for example, the more you soak the wood, and then the distillation, depending on the pot in which you distill it to, is going to have a slightly different smell to it. Usually the more you soak the wood, the more pungent it's going to be. This one is not your typical indie oud. This one is a Vietnamese kind, but then I'm curious to see what you get out of that. It's typically something that would be different from what people associate oud to be.
Right. It smells like luxury leather.
Okay, I can see that.
It has a woody, leathery, it's almost like a refurbishing oil rub to.
Okay. Do you get anything earthy? Or slightly mineral?
Yeah, slightly mineral. I don't know. When I think of earthy, I'm not really sure what that means. If it smells like the earth or it just smells like from the earth. It definitely smells. Okay. Wait. I got it.
Okay.
This smells like what's in Dendera.
Okay, so that's the impression that I had too when I smelled Dendera. That's because I've used the material before. It is really similar to that, but I think he added the myrrh. The myrrh too. Have you smelled myrrh before?
No.
Okay. Those two elements are things that are familiar, at least to my nose, with what is in Dendera. I was guessing maybe that's the type of oud that he used, but you never know.
Yeah, this definitely smells like, but it almost smells stronger in Dendera. It almost smells like.
I feel like it might have been augmented by the myrrh, though. But then this one you got to keep in mind is at 5%, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the funny thing is, no matter how long you've smelled these notes differently, like one by one, the issue is when you start blending them or you start trying to pick them up in a composition is a lot harder.
This didn't immediately smell like this though. It changed from
the top.
From the top. There's a fragrance house indie fragrance house called LA Curie or La Curie. They smell of like the old leathers and the oils that are used to kind of keep that all
kind of restore them. Yeah.
There's a lot of those kinds of smells within La Curie fragrances where it just feels like something in the present, but looking back at the past. So that the initial smell of this, the initial smell of this was like an old leathery environment where there's oils and like kerosene and like, yeah, old wood, but like in a nice upscale way. I wonder if I can
read. It is
read
old wood, but yeah, that's a great description.
But then this a very, my only reference is Dendera from the smelliness. Yeah, now I can smell it right off the bat. I can smell it right off the bat now. That smells like Dendera.
There you go. Now you have a reference there.
Yeah,
an association. Exactly. So yeah, when I ran out of the Indian oud that I used in the upcoming fragrance. That's why I couldn't send that to you. But I'm getting some oud in, some Indie oud. I have a Thai oud. So I'm going to gather those up and then I'll send them to you and then to see how like different they are from region to region or even the person that is making the distillation. So that should be an interesting experience there. But
yeah, I'm very curious too because this smell is only reminding me of Dendera.
Yeah.
None of the other oud fragrances remind me of this killer one, but maybe that's just because I haven't experienced a lot of them.
Yeah, and then maybe they're not. Maybe the way it is used in a fragrance too, people are not familiar with this type of oud, right? So they don't smell the fragrance and immediately associate it with okay, there's a type of oud in here. And yeah, mostly when people talk about oud, they're saying it's pungent, it's barny. Some degrees to those who have explored. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's no barn in this one.
It's
which is
just
interesting. Right?
Yeah, this just feels like well kept upholstery, and like it has like an aviation type smell to it with a little bit of an exotic, an exotic texture to it. Like it's been traveled, like something that like furniture that's been overseas that has been transported.
Yeah. Something with history, right? Yeah.
Something with history, yeah. It does feel like a forgotten book, that's a leather bound book or something. But I do want, maybe the last thing we can open this up for questions from people. If there's anybody who has any questions about raw materials or oud or anything, does anybody have any questions? Is that okay, Oz? Can you maybe field?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. For me, I think the best part of this stream is see you try the materials and then the association that you had before. Because like the funny thing is like when I was receiving at the beginning, right? When I was receiving these materials, the fun part was actually me having like a made up concept about what a note or ingredient is supposed to smell like. Then I smell it, I'm like, no, that's not what I thought this would smell like. And then you go and smell the fragrance and you say, oh, it smells much nicer in the fragrance than as a standalone ingredient, because some of the ingredient can be really pungent. I didn't want to send you civet, castoreum, and then all those stinky stuff yet. We'll save that for another time when you're up to it.
My family thanks you, but I definitely want to experience that later on my own time. Castoreum, all of those, things. It sounds very interesting. I don't know where I feel. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the way that some of these are obtained. I do care a lot about animals, but I think I don't know, I'm just in the process of learning about that, and eventually I'll probably come to the, conclusion of what my thoughts are, but I definitely want to at least experience what that smells like and how it influences perfume, if there's any memory associations I have with it or anything like that. Something happens. I think my phone overheats or something. Jonquil. It's a flower. Jonquil. Narcissus. All right, we're back.
Oh, yeah. So I think there was a question before. Tracy was asking about it. So I actually, in the process of making more of Nectar Boisé, Monoesis, and then the Voile d'Encens. So it should be in about 2 months, just so that it is, I'm taking the time to get it ready for bottling. So it's going to take about 2 months to get ready, for those to get ready. So thanks for asking that, Tracy.
So this is, jonquil is a narcissus?
I think it's a flower. I'm not too familiar with that. I think I have the material, but I've not yet studied that. But is it the same thing as narcissus? I'm not sure.
Excellent. Commonly known as jonquil, rush daffodil, bulbous flowering plant. Narcissus jonquilia.
But it sounds like, and then she says, who released Narcissus again? Oh, so Hans did a limited release then on that, it seems like.
Wasn't that part of the laboratory series last 2019? I can't remember if that was one of them.
Thanks, Tracy. Yeah. So how do you get on the list? It was like I noticed that
I had the same question, and I couldn't really. I heard about it on the American Perfumer podcast, and they were discussing it as something that was new. And by that time, I had missed my opportunity to get the first batch of Bloodline and also to sign up for the laboratory series. So the laboratory series is something that is sort of a state of present, like it's now. Even Hans doesn't know if he's going to do it the next year. It's not like something that's planned or, it just depends on how he wants to proceed. Yeah. So, for the people that are listening right now or watching right now, I messaged him the middle of last year, and he said November-ish. Sometimes he'll open it up, and it was open for a good deal of time, and it was different this time. The first batch was 33 people that were able to be a part of it, and then this last time it was open to the public for as many as that wanted to sign up. So
okay.
I think there was like a 2-week gap of if you go back into my Instagram, you can see my animation of the logo that he posted this year for the 2020 laboratory series. And it was open for a while, and I tried to get as many people aware of it as possible because it's probably my favorite thing that's happening right now. Like that just in fragrance, it's an ongoing study, and you get these not one of a kind, but like a very select batch of their compositions that are a little bit more exploratory, And
oh, I see what you mean. So he's not. Yeah,
these are just kind of they're kind of
finished.
They're finished sketches. It's like if you went into like a famous artist's sketchbook and you're seeing these layouts and compositions for final works, but looked finished enough so that it's like that's the finished piece. Like there's nothing you can embellish to make that better.
More, yeah.
The laboratory series is definitely something. If you hear about it, please sign up as soon as possible, because it's so worth it, especially for somebody who wants to know more about the process and peel back the curtain a little bit. And you can sign up for different sized bottles, so you don't. It can cost a decent amount of money, but you can go incrementally. They have a 30 mil, they have a 50 mil.
Different sizes,
I think there was a 9 mil as too.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you have the option there at least.
Different entry points, and it's seriously so exciting to experience, because he has this companion part of it that's on a website, and you can go through his thoughts, and he kind of embellishes on what the thought process is behind it, and you can follow along, and it informs your growing as your nose kind of comes into contact with these amazing fragrance notes and oils, essences, and also gets you into the mindset of a perfumer. It's very. I wasn't going to say anything, but I feel like you should do something like a laboratory series for yourself, and you can call it something different, but to have some sort of exploratory thing where you don't have to worry about the marketing and the, preparing a batch of it and needing to sell it. You just have it's in its own environment, and it's, more fun. I would.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, I might end up doing that at some point down the line. Right now, the concept that I'm working on is, okay, if I'm really interested in a material that I can get a big quantity of. So, for example, some of the Ansar ouds, for example, some of them are really expensive, but I might have a formula, but can I make just a limited quantity, and then for those who are interested, they can try whatever I'm coming up with at that point in time. But that will be a way for me to be like, okay, I'm thinking about doing 100 or 200 bottles. It can literally be a small quantity, but it'd be something that I'm not financially constrained by, right? So that I can go ahead and then do that, and then just distribute it and see where it goes.
Yeah, it's just
a concept that I have is just that some of the costs are not feasible, both for me, but also if I'm putting them out, it's not going to be something that is sustainable, and then it might not be something that most people will be interested in because of the price point. But if I do a smaller quantity, the price is not going to be that bad, because essentially what I'm doing is putting something creative out there and then just doing that essentially at cost. So
cool. Well, thank you, Oz. Thank you so much.
Tracy has something called monthly olfactive. That's a cool concept. That name there. Thanks, Tracy.
That's exactly what it should be called.
Yeah. All right.
So I feel my phone just starting to freak out. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. There's no price you can put on just having this interaction and sharing this.
I thought it was really fun. So.
And just the knowledge behind it. And I really want to thank you for going through that, sending
problem.
that to me. It's mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing.
Sounds good. I'm glad you had fun too. So that's interesting. Always curious what people think about certain things. So this was really entertaining for me too. All right.
And also, thank you for my first experience of oud.
Well, without Sanskrit, I see. Yeah. Oh, it looks like your phone is freezing now. All right, thanks again. Have a good night.